friends will be totes jealous. I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
What if I told you about a star prospect who nearly threw it all away?
Welcome to the 2012 NHL Entry Draft. With the first pick of the 2012 NHL Entry Draft, the Edmonton Oilers select from the Sarnia Sting of OHL, Nail Yakupov. With the second pick in the 2012 NHL Entry Draft, the Columbus Blue Jackets select from Everett of WHL, Ryan Murray. The Phoenix Coyotes are on the clock.
The Phoenix Coyotes and general manager Chris Kind have shown good interest in defenseman Tyler Steffey, who had to defect from North Korea. He played for the Pylons in the Czech League.
Growing up in North Korea was pretty tough. Living there, you're only taught to look up to the supreme leader.
Steffey did not have much to do around the area. However, he took up hockey at a young age.
The Asian stereotype suggests that we become doctors, Olympic divers, or even ping pong players. But I chose hockey of all professions.
Not many Asians played hockey who made it into the NHL. Richard Park from South Korea and Paul Correa, a Canadian with Asian descent. Steffey excelled at the game and was granted to play in the North Korean Hockey League at the age of 14. However, Steffey had his eyes set on the NHL.
I knew that I could play in America. Several were comparing me to a couple of NHL legends. The only problem for me was getting out of North Korea.
Steffey was determined, however, he had no way of leaving the country. Finally, one night, he gathered all of his family members and snuck through the DMZ and escaped to South Korea. From there, his family moved to the United States, while Steffey went to the Czech Republic.
I had received an offer with the scout from the Pleasant Pylons. I told him that I was headed there as soon as I got out of North Korea.
When Steffey got to the Pylons, he immediately made a difference along with new teammate left wing scorer Kyle Cuddy. They led the Pylons to the playoffs.
When I first heard Tyler Steffey's name brought up, I had no idea who he was. But then after seeing him after a practice, I knew he had the skill and potential to become a top-end draft pick.
Cuddy finished the year with 45 points in 40 games, which helped him to get picked 20th by Boston in the 2012 draft. Steffey finished with 21 points in 34 games.
With the third pick in the 2012 NHL Entry Draft from the Pylons of the Czech League, the Phoenix Coyotes select defenseman Tyler Steffey.
Our scout team in Europe raved over Steffey. We loved the way he played defense, but we also liked the way he jumped up in the play and helped out the offense. We drafted Oliver Ekman-Larsson from Sweden in 2009, and that really worked out well. We're looking to build our defensive core, and we think Steffey could be a big part of that.
So what are you feeling right now?
Well, I don't really know how I'm feeling. It's a dream to be here, get drafted early. I didn't think I could make it, but I'd like to prove myself to the Phoenix organization and fans for giving me a high draft pick and spending a lot for me to become a member of their team.
I really liked him when we drafted him. I thought we had another franchise-type talent on our hands.
After the draft, Steffey was determined to make the team.
He showed up at the camp flying. He looked better than anyone else out there.
When I got drafted, I wanted to prove to management that I could be the great player that they envisioned me to be, and I wanted to prove to the fans that I was worthy of a high pick.
Steffey made the team out of the camp and was placed in the starting lineup on the opening game of the Coyotes' 2012-2013 season.
It was quite an honor to be able to start your first ever game. I would have never, ever imagined that.
However, Steffey struggled out of the gate. He did not record a point in 10 games and had a plus-minus rating of -6.
We didn't want to send him down to the minors because he'd excelled at the pro league in Europe, so we scratched him for a few games so he could regain his confidence.
Steffey agreed to the idea of sitting out a game or two, but these 2 games turned into 6 straight, with the emerging play of defenseman Michael Stone.
And Chipchura will race it back to center as he gives it there for Stone. Stone scores! Just on the Colorado side.
How do you feel about not being in the lineup for the 5th straight game?
Well, it's obviously frustrating, but it gives you more motivation to work harder, so hope that I can overcome this and become a better player and start showing up in the lineup.
After only playing in 12 of the first 23 games, Steffey became annoyed and began to look towards other alternatives.
Began to drink more often, and then started going out and partying a lot more at night.
Halfway through the year, Steffey played in 20 games and had yet to register a single point.
He dug himself into a hole. I know he's a rookie, but you can't show up and not perform.
Steffey fell deeper as he sat out games in bunches. Due to this, he went out to more parties and the news surfaced.
We had a talk. I told him this could not be tolerated. As a punishment, we sat him down for 10 games.
See, I don't have a drinking problem. The team has a problem with me drinking.
Danny, you're in a great mood. You must be loving the new house.
My life is even better now thanks to East West Mortgage.
I thought you already had a mortgage.
I had an adjustable mortgage, but the rates kept going up.
So what'd you do?
I changed my adjustable for a fixed rate. Now I got a great house and an even better mortgage.
Great. You should have plenty of extra cash to buy me lunch. Again.
We're there when you need us. Call 1-800-EAST-WEST. All you gotta do is call 1-800-EAST-WEST. Oh, yeah.
As the year went on, Steffey started to give in to alcohol and began to miss team meetings. General Manager Chris Kine benched Steffey for the remainder of the season and announced that he would be released at the end of the year.
Hello. We have released defenseman Tyler Steffey from his contract immediately. I will take no further questions at this time. I don't believe we got rid of him too soon. You can't have a player like that in your organization.
At that point, it seemed like Steffey had hit a rock bottom.
I had sleepless nights as I just sat on my couch pondering the thought that if I would ever play hockey in my life again in the NHL.
After a dismal one-and-done season with only 5 points in 40 games, Steffey did not receive any calls from teams for 2 months.
I waited for 2 months and nothing really happened, so I decided to check into rehab and become a better person. I'd say I spent about 6 months in rehab, and then during that time and after that I played for the Alaska Aces of the ECHL.
During the time with the Aces, Steffey accumulated 59 points in 73 games played during the 2013-2014 season. With his numbers and spectacular play, he won the award for Defenseman of the Year.
After the season ended, the Aces offered me another contract, but at first I turned it down in hopes of getting NHL offers.
Once again, Steffey had to wait weeks until he received a phone call.
At some points, I'd say I probably nearly gave up on returning to the NHL. I haven't received any calls, and I was just about to return to the Aces, and then I got a call from General Manager Daryl Robichaud.
In late August, a week before training camp, Steffey received a call from Daryl Robichaud, General Manager of Leominster Blue Devils.
We had lost 3 of our top 6 defensemen to free agency, and we're looking to rebuild our D-core. Steffey was young, and he had plenty of talent. The only issue was his work ethic.
I was excited when I got that call. I couldn't believe it.
Steffey's deal was only for 1 year, but this provided Steffey the chances to shine and the hopes for a longer deal.
We had a discussion with him regarding his personal life, and he told us that he was through with the past and he was looking forward to get to work.
Going into training camp, I was determined. I wanted to get my spirits up, and the only way to do that was to push myself.
Well, at the first day of camp, I guess you could say he pushed himself beyond limits.
I made an impression all right. I puked on the first day of training camp. I was kind of hoping that it would show Coach Bolak that I was going to push myself beyond the limits of my body.
Due to Steffy's bodily fluids coming up and his hard work and determination throughout the rest of camp, Steffey made the team as the 5th defenseman.
At first I didn't play that much. That was understandable as I was trying to learn the systems and get back to NHL speed.
His attitude was completely different from when he was in Phoenix. Steffey was more patient, he was more mature, and he had a better understanding of the coaching decisions that we were making.
I knew my role with the Blue Devils as they already had a strong defense. Of course, attention was still on me from the fallout in Phoenix.
It seemed like everywhere Steffey traveled around the rink, cameras followed.
I had to prove to my teammates that the past was in the past. Thankfully, my play and sense of humor led to trust in the room.
Steffey was able to mature very quickly. As GM, I was very impressed with his maturation process.
Even with limited playing time, Steffey still made most of his chances providing strong defensive play and stirring the offense.
Of course you want to play more. Any player would like to get more ice time, but the way the team was working, I was content with seeing limited ice time.
Midway through the season, injury struck the Blue Devils. Tyler Cudahy went down with a separated shoulder and lost KJ Dowling to a facial injury.
To lose two strong players like that was tough, especially when they're both defensemen.
Normally when that happens, the general manager goes out and gets help.
I did not want to go out and trade for another player. I had faith in those other defensemen that they would be able to come in and fulfill those roles.
I was ready for the challenge to be an all-situation type of player. The staff had shown full confidence in me, and I had to show them what I could do.
Steffey played strong down to the stretch, and due to his play, the general manager awarded him.
It is my great pleasure to announce that we have signed Tyler Steffey to a 5-year contract extension. Any time that you can lock up a young talent to a multi-year deal, it's a good thing.
I can't really believe it. I'm speechless. It's really a dream come true to be at one team for a long amount of time. I'd like to thank Roby for bringing me here and taking a chance on my play and having faith in me. And it's a pleasure and an honor to be a Leominster Blue Devil for such a long time. Thank you.
He played well. He matured. He became a leader in the locker room. Every team needs a player like that.
Leominster qualified for the Stanley Cup playoffs and made it all the way to the finals, where they faced the Phoenix Coyotes. The two teams fought hard, but in the third overtime, someone broke through.
Wonderful in front of the cage. Giroux across, drive by Teeman and score!
After all you've been through, can you put this moment into words?
I don't really know how to explain it. It's a childhood dream to be able to score the game-winning goal in overtime in Game 7 to win the Stanley Cup. After what I went through in Phoenix, it was a tough time, and to be here right now playing hockey, it's incredible.
It's amazing to have that kid score that goal after all he's been through in his life. Truly amazing.